Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
A man from Fargo is behind bars tonight after police say he threatened to cut a woman's throat. Authorities say 30-year-old Tyler Wirtz was driving around Morton County with his ex in August when he became upset about something his ex said to him. The victim says Wirtz hit her with his elbow several times inside the car and told her he was going to kill her by cutting her throat. Wirtz then allegedly pushed her out of the moving vehicle, driving more than 40 miles an hour at the time. Wirtz is charged with terrorizing, aggravated assault, and reckless endangerment. New information for you now. A Moorhead house fire is now being ruled arson. That home sits near Concordia College at the corner of 5th Street South and 8th Avenue South. When firefighters got to the home last night, they found fire on the first and second floors, as well as the south side of the house. No one was inside at the time. The fire is still under investigation, so if you have any information, you can call the fire marshal at 218-299-5433. New for you now at 5. One man was taken into custody this afternoon after police say he led them on a high-speed chase that started south of Glendon. Officers say it started with a routine traffic stop. They say when the suspect drove into Dilworth, a Clay County deputy used spike strips to deflate 3 out of 4 tires on the man's vehicle. For safety reasons, officers stopped the pursuit in Dilworth. The suspect eventually lost control of the vehicle at the intersection of 2nd Street and NP Avenue in Fargo.
No, there was no danger to the public. There was nobody injured during this. Like I said, once we hit the higher population area, we did discontinue the pursuit for the safety purposes because we were getting into more traffic and more people and things like that. Unfortunately, this driver made a very poor decision after that and continued driving.
The man is in the Cass County Jail. His name has not been released yet. Today marks day 7 of the William Haines trial. A Fargo police detective took the stand, telling prosecutors about the 3rd time officers searched the apartment of William Haines and Brooke Cruz, looking for a missing Savannah Graywind. Haines is on trial for being a co-conspirator in the murder of the 22-year-old Graywind. Haines' then-girlfriend, Brooke Cruz, is serving a life sentence for Savannah's murder. Prosecutors were also asking Detective Phil Swan about the timeline of events the day Graywind disappeared. At one point this afternoon, the defense attorney asked for a verdict, but the judge denied that request. The jury also heard from Savannah Graywind's boyfriend, Ashton Matheny. We'll have more on that on Valley News Live at 6. There's a lot of rain moving through the northern valley. How are we expecting any of that this evening in the south?
It's making its way as we speak, and that Valley Skycam showing the gray skies to the south and the east of our studios here, where there is some shower activity in much of Clay County. The heaviest showers now in the Red Lake County area, right on the Pennington County border, moving to the south and east at 35 miles per hour. This is where the soggy showers are. This will definitely rain on your parade, where you see the dark greens and yellows. Out to the west, though, in eastern North Dakota, we have a few light sprinkles pushing into the Barnes County area from western Stutzman County. Yes, Fargo may see some showers, and as we take a look at the hour-by-hour forecast, the best chance of those will be generally in the 7 to 8 o'clock hour. Then after 10, I think most of us will see quieter conditions. Temperature-wise, Andrea, it looks cool. With passing showers, you'll want to have that umbrella handy, with temperatures dipping into the 40s by bedtime tonight. I'll have details on some even more unfall-like weather. In fact, some may call it wintry. I'll have details on flakes in the forecast in a minute.
All right, it's inevitable, right?
It is.
Thank you, Hutch. Police arrested 2 young men for allegedly robbing a man at knife point when they were trying to sell him drugs. Authorities say 19-year-old Brennan Hutchins and a 17-year-old boy from Fergus Falls had been in contact with a 24-year-old man from Frazee so they could sell drugs. When the Frazee man arrived at the home in Fergus on Monday, the 2 young men took $400 in cash from him. Police eventually chased down the suspects and arrested them for aggravated robbery and second-degree controlled substance. A man from Minneapolis was arrested after running from police in Bemidji and then crashing into a tree and a vehicle. Police say just before 11 last night, 25-year-old Donald Negron was driving in the city without his lights on. When police tried to stop him, he took off, reaching speeds of 80 miles an hour. He was eventually arrested on multiple citations, including third-degree DWI. 3 other people were also in the vehicle. One was taken to a hospital with injuries. The other 2 ran from the scene. One person was arrested for DWI after a crash in Polk County. Police say 42-year-old Jeremy Burwell of Grand Forks and 21-year-old Brady Scallett of Thief River Falls crashed into each other at an intersection in Keystone Township. Scallett was treated for minor injuries. Burwell was not injured but was arrested on suspicion of DUI. A nationwide recall of ground beef that had you checking your freezer and fridge last week has now expanded and includes meat sold at Target, Aldi, and other stores. The amount of recalled ground beef, which has now reached more than 132,000 pounds, could be contaminated with deadly E. coli. Valley News Team's Maddie Gelseth went to 4 stores in the surrounding area that are known to have received the beef, and she joins us live now with more. Maddie?
Andrea, I went to Sam's Club and Target in Fargo, along with Aldi and Target in Moorhead, to see if they received the meat that's being recalled. Good news, none of these stores have it on their shelves, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't keep checking your fridge and freezer. The USDA is urging you to look at the mark of inspection on your beef, and if it says established 86R, you should throw it away. The USDA said the beef comes from Cargill Meat Solutions in Colorado, and it was made from the chuck portion of the carcass that may be contaminated. Andrea?
All right, thank you, Maddie. 1 person has died, 17 others have gotten sick from the contaminated ground beef. For a full list of the labels, you can go to valleynewslive.com and click on this story. A new report on the troubled Minnesota licensing and registration system, or MINLARS, says thousands of residents have been either overcharged or undercharged for vehicle registrations. MINLARS is the state vehicle licensing system that went into effect last year. It has been plagued with glitches that have caused delays and problems. WCCO's Esmond Murphy has more on this story.
The Ford F-150 truck has an assessed value of $39,000, but the study found that under the MINLARS system, there were 130 different base values assessed to the truck, ranging from just $2 to $70,000. The owner with the $2 assessment obviously underpaid for their registration. The person who had the higher value is being assessed $1,900 more than they owe. GOP State Senator Mary Kiffmeyer says MINLARS has already cost the state more than $100 million.
Our Minnesota people are either being overcharged, undercharged. They can't have confidence in this own system.
With all 134 seats in the Minnesota House up for election this November, MINLARS problems are expected to be a major issue in the November Minnesota legislative elections.
MINLARS plays perfectly into the Republican criticism of the Dayton administration, big government that doesn't work well.
Governor Mark Dayton's office referred all comment to the state's IT services. In a statement, the agency said, the vast majority of inaccuracies are not the result of a malfunctioning MINLARS system. Rather, they largely reflect differences in interpretation of statute, human error in data entry, and the misalignment between unique Minnesota laws and automotive industry practices.
Now, this report does contain a series of recommendations. One of them is helping people to determine if they've been overcharged and how they might be able to get reimbursed. Another recommendation is changing the way base rates of vehicles are calculated in Minnesota for registration purposes. Esme Murphy, WCCO 4 News.
Public officials say they are working to find a better solution to this problem. A new report says Minnesota saw more deaths from fires in 2017 than it has seen in more than 20 years. According to the Minnesota State Fire Marshal's report, Minnesota had 68 fire deaths last year, which is the highest number since 1995. 17 of those people died in homes with working smoke alarms. The total number of fires reported last year was nearly 15,500, a 1% increase from 2016. Most of the fires reported, 45%, were caused by cooking. 93% of those fires were contained. Officials say they are seeing adults over the age of 50 die in fires at an alarming rate, a trend they say is likely to continue as our population ages. More than 50 people attended an hour-long NARCAN training today to learn how to administer it to someone who has overdosed and also learn the education behind it. Each person was given a NARCAN kit along with instructions, gloves, a breathing kit, and a box with 2 doses of NARCAN.
We try to go a little bit further than just how to administer the NARCAN, because that can be done with a 7-minute video. But this is really a lot of comprehensive information, background information, so that when people leave here today, they really have a lot more idea of what our community is facing and what they can do to help.
Attendees were officially certified after the training. There will be another NARCAN training in October.
Go! Go! Now we go!
As you can plainly see, tons of enthusiasm from the kids at Longfellow Elementary in North Fargo today. They got a chance to shove the books aside, at least for a while, and take in the fresh air and morning sunshine. The Longfellow PTA is behind the event, a walkathon. The young people, in hourly increments, could walk or run or jog around a course, specially set up for the event. They gathered pledges to raise money for special school programs and projects.
Actually, it is so much better than what we used to do before in selling candy, which was not a real great healthy option. But I like the fact that kids are outside the entire time. They're walking. Actually, some of them choose to run the entire time. They love it. This is actually one of their favorite times of year.
The fundraising target this year, the same as last year, $18,000. Cooler temps are sticking around, and while some may have a hard time saying goodbye to their summer clothes, others are getting excited to fill their closets with fall fashions. Layering your clothing is one trend that's being seen in stores. In the men's section, for example, you'll find graphic tees layered with a flannel shirt. For women, plaid button-ups under a cozy sweater. Accessories like hats, scarves, and long necklaces are also making a comeback this year. Also, mustard, yellow, maroon, and olive green are some of the hot colors you'll see this fall season. The late music superstar Prince is slated to receive an honorary degree tonight from the University of Minnesota. The university says it was preparing to award the Purple One with the high honor before his death. Prince's sister will receive the degree. Tonight's program will include performances from the university's School of Music, as well as special guest artists. The federal